Leadership is often celebrated as the driving force behind successful organizations, but what happens when leaders fail? In this opening scene, we set the stage for a deep exploration into the reasons why leadership failure occurs. We'll examine the impact it has on teams, organizations, and even entire industries. Leadership failure is not just about making mistakes, it's about repeated missteps, poor decision-making, and the inability to adapt. Understanding these failures is crucial for anyone aspiring to lead or currently in a leadership role. By recognizing the signs and causes, we can learn how to prevent them and foster stronger, more resilient leadership. Leadership failure is more than just a single mistake or a bad day at the office. It's a pattern of behavior that undermines trust, damages morale, and ultimately leads to poor outcomes. In this scene, we define what leadership failure really means. It involves the inability to inspire, motivate, or guide a team toward a common goal. Leaders who fail often lack self-awareness, ignore feedback, and resist change. By understanding this definition, viewers can begin to identify leadership failures in their own environments and take steps to address them. Leadership failure doesn't happen in isolation. There are common causes that repeatedly show up across different organizations and industries. These include poor communication, lack of vision, and inability to delegate. Leaders may also fail due to personal issues such as ego, arrogance, or burnout. In this scene, we explore these causes in detail, providing real-world examples and insights. By understanding the root causes, leaders can proactively address weaknesses and build a foundation for success. Leadership fails, the effects ripple through the entire team. Morale drops, productivity suffers, and trust erodes. Team members may feel unsupported, undervalued, or confused about their roles. In this scene, we discuss how leadership failure impacts teams, leading to increased turnover, conflict, and disengagement. Understanding these impacts helps leaders recognize the importance of their role and the need to foster a positive, supportive environment. Leadership failure doesn't just affect individuals or teams, it can have serious consequences for the entire organization. Poor leadership can lead to missed opportunities, financial losses, and damaged reputations. In this scene, we examine how leadership failure can undermine organizational goals and create lasting negative effects. By understanding these consequences, organizations can prioritize leadership development and create systems to support their leaders. Personal traits can contribute to leadership failure. Traits like arrogance, stubbornness, and lack of empathy often prevent leaders from connecting with their teams and making sound decisions. In this scene, we explore how these traits manifest and why they are so detrimental. Leaders who recognize these traits in themselves can work to overcome them, fostering a more effective leadership style. Effective communication is the cornerstone of good leadership. When leaders fail to communicate clearly, misunderstandings arise and goals become unclear. In this scene, we discuss the importance of communication and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Leaders must learn to listen, provide feedback, and articulate their vision to avoid these pitfalls. Feedback is essential for growth, yet many leaders ignore it or dismiss it outright. This scene explores how ignoring feedback leads to stagnation and repeated mistakes. Leaders who embrace feedback create a culture of continuous improvement, while those who reject it risk alienating their teams and missing valuable insights. Change is inevitable in any organization, but leaders who resist change often fail. This scene discusses the dangers of resisting change and the importance of adaptability. Leaders must be willing to evolve, embrace new ideas, and encourage innovation to stay relevant and effective. Clear vision is essential for guiding teams and organizations. Leaders who lack vision struggle to inspire and motivate their teams. In this scene, we explore how a lack of vision leads to confusion, disengagement, and ultimately failure. Leaders must develop and communicate a compelling vision to succeed. Delegation is a critical skill for leaders. Those who fail to delegate often become overwhelmed and hinder their team's growth. This scene examines the importance of delegation and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Leaders must trust their teams and empower them to take on responsibilities. Ego and arrogance can blind leaders to their own shortcomings and prevent them from learning. This scene explores how these traits contribute to leadership failure. Leaders must remain humble, open to feedback, and willing to admit mistakes to foster a healthy leadership environment. Leadership can be demanding, and burnout is a common cause of failure. In this scene, we discuss how stress and exhaustion impact leaders' ability to make decisions and support their teams. Leaders must prioritize self-care and seek support to avoid burnout and maintain effectiveness. Ethical lapses can destroy trust and credibility. Leaders who compromise their values risk losing the respect of their teams and stakeholders. This scene examines the importance of ethics in leadership and how failures in this area can have lasting consequences. Decision-making is at the heart of leadership. Leaders who consistently make poor decisions undermine their teams and organizations. In this scene, we explore how poor judgment leads to leadership failure and discuss ways to improve decision-making skills. Self-awareness is crucial for effective leadership. Leaders who lack self-awareness fail to recognize their strengths and weaknesses, making it difficult to improve. This scene discusses the importance of self-awareness and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Inspiration is a key element of leadership. Leaders who fail to inspire their teams struggle to achieve goals and maintain engagement. This scene explores how a lack of inspiration leads to disengagement and poor performance. Micromanagement is a common leadership pitfall. Leaders who micromanage undermine their team's autonomy and creativity. In this scene, we discuss how micromanagement leads to frustration, reduced innovation, and leadership failure. Strong relationships are essential for leadership success. Leaders who fail to build relationships struggle to earn trust and support. This scene explores the importance of relationship building and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Leadership is about developing others. Leaders who fail to mentor and support their teams hinder growth and success. In this scene, we discuss the importance of developing others and how leadership failure occurs when this is neglected. Clear expectations are vital for team success. Leaders who fail to set expectations create confusion and frustration. This scene explores how unclear expectations lead to leadership failure and discusses ways to improve clarity. Accountability is essential for leadership. Leaders who fail to hold themselves and others accountable undermine trust and performance. This scene discusses the importance of accountability and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Recognition motivates teams and drives performance. Leaders who fail to recognize achievement risk disengagement and low morale. In this scene, we discuss the importance of recognition and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Technology is constantly evolving and leaders must adapt. Those who fail to embrace technology risk falling behind. This scene explores how failure to adapt to technology leads to leadership failure and discusses ways to stay current. Conflict is inevitable, but leaders must manage it effectively. Those who fail to address conflict risk damaging relationships and performance. This scene discusses the importance of conflict management and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Innovation drives progress. Leaders who fail to foster innovation risk stagnation and missed opportunities. In this scene, we discuss the importance of innovation and how leadership failure occurs when it's neglected. Organizational culture shapes behavior and performance. Leaders who fail to build a positive culture risk disengagement and poor results. This scene explores the importance of culture and how leadership failure occurs when it's neglected. Change management is a critical leadership skill. Leaders who fail to manage change risk confusion and resistance. In this scene, we discuss the importance of change management and how leadership failure occurs when it's neglected. Setting priorities is essential for achieving goals. Leaders who fail to set priorities risk wasted resources and missed targets. This scene explores how failure to prioritize leads to leadership failure and discusses ways to improve. Listening is a fundamental leadership skill. Leaders who fail to listen miss valuable insights and alienate their teams. In this scene, we discuss the importance of listening and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Motivation drives performance. Leaders who fail to motivate their teams risk low engagement and poor results. This scene explores how failure to motivate leads to leadership failure and discusses ways to inspire teams. Resources are essential for success. Leaders who fail to provide resources hinder their team's ability to achieve goals. In this scene, we discuss the importance of resource allocation and how leadership failure occurs when it's neglected. Performance management is a key leadership responsibility. Leaders who fail to manage performance risk poor results and disengagement. This scene explores how failure to manage performance leads to leadership failure and discusses ways to improve. Leading by example is essential for credibility. Leaders who fail to model desired behaviors undermine trust and effectiveness. In this scene, we discuss the importance of leading by example and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Risk management is a critical leadership skill. Leaders who fail to manage risk expose their teams and organizations to unnecessary dangers. This scene explores how failure to manage risk leads to leadership failure and discusses ways to improve. Trust is the foundation of effective leadership. Leaders who fail to build trust struggle to earn loyalty and support. In this scene, we discuss the importance of trust and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Diversity brings strength to teams. Leaders who fail to manage diversity risk exclusion and missed opportunities. This scene explores how failure to embrace diversity leads to leadership failure and discusses ways to foster inclusion. Remote work is increasingly common. Leaders who fail to manage remote teams risk disengagement and poor performance. In this scene, we discuss the challenges of remote leadership and how failure in this area leads to leadership failure. Crisis management is a test of leadership. Leaders who fail to manage crises risk chaos and loss. This scene explores how failure to manage crisis leads to leadership failure and discusses ways to improve crisis management skills. Reputation is vital for leadership success. Leaders who fail to manage their reputation risk losing credibility and support. In this scene, we discuss the importance of reputation management and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Managing expectations is essential for leadership. Leaders who fail to manage expectations risk disappointment and frustration. This scene explores how failure to manage expectations leads to leadership failure and discusses ways to improve. Emotional intelligence is key for leadership. Leaders who fail to manage their emotions risk damaging relationships and performance. In this scene, we discuss the importance of emotional management and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Resource management is essential for success. Leaders who fail to manage resources risk inefficiency and missed goals. This scene explores how failure to manage resources leads to leadership failure and discusses ways to improve. Time management is a critical leadership skill. Leaders who fail to manage time risk missed deadlines and poor results. In this scene, we discuss the importance of time management and how its absence leads to leadership failure. Leadership failure is a complex issue with far-reaching consequences. In this final scene, we summarize the key causes and impacts of leadership failure. We also discuss strategies for prevention, including self-awareness, communication, and continuous learning. By understanding and addressing these issues, leaders can build stronger teams, organizations, and futures. The journey to effective leadership begins with recognizing and overcoming failure.